Hi jumpers, Coach White here with another video analysis for one of our customers. If you're interested in your own video analysis, you can get one by going to highjumphelp.com. Enjoy!
As part of when you purchased, you should have gotten a handout. Talks about the 4 baby steps of high jump. So that's what I'm going to be referring to. So this is just a good document to use whenever you're coaching, because each one of those baby steps sort of build on top of each other, right? We want to focus on the approach first, and then kind of our takeoff, and then our knee drive, and then finally those over bar mechanics or the back bend. So first thing we're going to take a look at is the approach. So I see a good running form here, which is always a good thing. So running form helps with consistency. It looks like she's starting her corner early enough, and overall I think the corner looks pretty good. Right, she's steadily kind of getting faster here, which is last steps. One thing I notice here though is notice this. Here's your penultimate step, right? And then see how long this step is here. Like she's really having to reach. So she's kind of actually like jumping into this step and then into this step because she's too far away from the bar. And when we're too far away from the bar here, instead of being able to kind of come up and over, you really can just like plant and you kind of just go straight into it, right? So no matter how hard you try to stay away, you just can't because you're too far away, and there's no ability for like your penultimate step to actually come and take you up off the ground. So what I would do is I'd have her probably go at least one shoe up just to quicken these last 2 steps up, okay? So your penultimate step, your second to last one there, and this step should be like the quickest 2 steps out of the entire approach, and should actually be, right, compared to like a regular stride, it should actually be a little bit shorter than that, okay? And I think that's going to help her actually get up and off the ground a little bit, because what you're going to see here is, she starts with her apex here, but then you can see how her apex is way back here, right? Instead of being like right on the bar here, okay? So it will help that because she'll actually be able to plant, right, the quick steps and then kind of come up and over. So that's the first step I would do. I always start with the approach, move her up a shoe, quicken those last 2 steps up, right, so she can get up and off the ground. So the next thing we'll take a look at is the takeoff. So overall, looks like her toe is pointing, looks like, I don't know, around here, maybe up a little further. Okay, so I would say that's it's a little bit too parallel to the mat. We always want to have kind of a 45-degree angle here that points towards like the back corner of the mat. And what this prevents is it prevents the athlete, right, from kind of coming down along the bar. They just kind of come up and over when they hit that 45-degree angle. So her foot's just a little bit too parallel, right, with the mat instead of that 45-degree angle. So I would take a look at that. In order to fix that, a lot of times it means, oops, didn't mean to do that. A lot of times it just means narrowing her approach a little bit. So instead of having her so wide out here, just narrow that a little bit, and it will make her foot get to that 45-degree angle instead of being parallel. Okay, so that's the first step. The next one is initially right here, looks pretty good, right? She's staying away, but then as soon as she gets off the ground, so let's see, her toe is on the ground. Her toe is pretty much on the ground here, and you can see her arm here is already going in, right? We want to think about that arm and that knee drive going the same way, right? So the knee drive is really good. It's going up and away from the bar across her body. We want to think about that arm also, right? Kind of trying to come across her body as well. So this, if we think about the plane of the bar being here, we want our knee drive and our arm initially to both be away, because that gives us a kind of a second for you to rise up first and then get into your back bend, okay? So she's jumping high enough where she needs to think about it being 2 motions, right? One motion would be trying to stay away, okay, and driving up, And the second motion is then the back bend up and over. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. So that gets through the approach and the takeoff. Next, we're going to take a look at her knee drive. It's up and across her body, which is exactly what we want. And it's driving all the way to the bar. So that's really good. I don't really have much to change on the knee drive right now. You can see her hips are getting plenty high. And the knee drive is what gets your hips up. The last piece is then just the overbar mechanics. So here, she hit it and then she kind of like ducked out of it. But I think one thing just to watch out for is she gets here, her head is back nicely. But then watch, as soon as she starts to kind of come, you can tell her head is coming up to take a look at the bar, her hips start to drop, okay? So think about not snapping. Think about keeping this head back, continuing to drive it until her shoulders hit the mat. Because then if you do that, you don't have to snap, okay? You really don't have to snap in the high jump for the most part. She would continue to drive her shoulders. Her feet would just fall right over her head, right? So instead of coming here and snapping, drive the shoulders all the way to the mat, let the feet fly over the head. All right, hopefully that makes sense. So really on this approach, what I would focus on, I would make sure she goes up a shoe, so up one shoe, in one shoe, okay? So then her approach is a little bit more narrow, so she hits that 45-degree angle takeoff spot. And just quicken those last two steps up so she can actually get up and over. So really, to me, she's doing the knee drive pretty well. So it's just getting her close enough to the bar so she can be quick, and then making sure that she's got that right takeoff angle. All right, hopefully this helps, and good luck this season. Thanks.